Hello, my beautiful friends. Welcome to Minds on Mushrooms, where we're unveiling the magic behind psychedelics for mental health and addiction. I'm your host, Maggie Kirkwood. We have a new setup today, new studio jacuzzi episode. Here with me is my good friend, Michael Brenneman. Hi, Mike.
Hello, hello.
How are you?
I'm well today. How are you?
Good. Thanks for joining me today.
Absolutely.
I'm so excited to talk to you because, as you know, well, let's back up here. So Mike and I, we've known each other just over 20 years. 20 years.
Time passes.
Yes. And, we've been through it all. We've talked a lot about mental health. We've talked a lot about alcohol. And I think, recently we're both kind of on this self-discovery phase with plant medicine.
Absolutely.
And I know that that plant medicine has completely changed my life and my mental health.
Mm-hmm.
And I really am just I can't wait because I haven't even talked to you because we're saving for this to hear your story. So let's just let's talk about where you are now. So you're coming from Lake Havasu.
Yes. So I drove up here. Obviously,
That's
this was
right.
this was a little bit of the puzzle that came into mind when I was driving back. Like, it wasn't specifically for the holidays. It wasn't just for coming home to spend time with my family for Christmas.
Oh, wow.
It's this.
Well, I
a
appreciate
lot of this.
That.
So I'm happy to be here.
Well, thank you for making it.
Absolutely.
And so yeah, let's kind of start with your journey. I think we know about 6 years ago is kind of the starting point. So I just kind of want you to let's go from there.
Break it down for you. So, as you know, I've lived around the United States.
You have
lived in a lot of different places. But 6 years ago, I was out in New York. I was living in the Hamptons.
Oh,
Sag Harbor, swanky. Yeah, I didn't fit in, to say the least, but there I was.
Yeah. And you were doing your landscaping stuff, right?
Yeah.
Is that where you're? Okay,
yep.
I remember that. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was out there, and I mean, just to break it down from the beginning, that is about when my health issues really started to compound, and it became all sorts of everything that my body just felt like it was shutting down on me. Arthritic, lethargic, headaches, swollen joints, irritable bowel, everything from blurred vision to about everything you could imagine.
And so, okay, wait. So, like, just sudden onset of this stuff, or it was kind of like creeping up on you, or
it was progressive, and it continued to shift and take shape in different forms to where it was, one day I would wake up and I would have pain in my elbow. Over time, my vision became blurry. There were moments in time, I mean, the extreme headaches, and it did progressively over time. It got worse. So we can back this up, and that's where it started to begin, was when I was in New York. And by the way, I'm already getting pruny.
Prune fingers.
So we'll be sitting like this here.
Yes.
For a lot of the episode.
I love it.
So I ended up leaving New York, and things just didn't work out there, for the very reason that you had just said, the swank, or the
oh yes,
it did not fit me. It was not my personality. It was not my being. So
just so you know, Michael has a wonderful will you describe your landscaping business real quick? I mean, just real quick, so it wasn't like you were just couch hopping or something.
No, I worked for a developer out in Hamptons.
Okay.
It was an awesome experience. I got to work on places, like the owner of the New York Giants house
Oh
was
shit.
my
Wow.
my
Okay.
big claim to fame out there, I
Oh
guess.
God.
I
Cool.
spent a lot of time on his house, and it was an extremely amazing experience. But
Okay. All right. Back to
anyway, yeah, when I realized that the place was not for me, I ventured west where my calling is. I'm a West Coast kind of guy. I like the Southwest.
I think I know that,
I'm
or
not
I've
an East
realized
Coast
that.
guy. Yeah.
Yes.
But anyway, I ventured west, and like I had said, the body pains, the issues started to really build up, and I started to recognize them when I'd left.
Okay.
Um, so fast forward, I currently live in Lake Havasu City, Arizona, like you'd said.
Still haven't been.
So better
I
get your
know.
ass out there.
Working on
Yeah, not in the summer probably. That's when you want to
it.
think you want to go until you witness 125 degrees.
Yeah.
But
No, thank you. No.
at any rate, fast forward a year after I had left New York, and I mean, I've been there now, we're going on 6 years, but my health really started to take a turn. Um, Actually, it was probably right around just pre-COVID where it started to really compound. And then
Okay.
obviously COVID put it into another
Oh,
fucking galaxy.
I see. Yes,
So,
for sure.
um,
Yeah.
so through that time frame, again, it started to just mask itself in different ways. I started going into doctors to just say, I would have swollen joints to the point where it was debilitating. They took me in and from everything from seeing a rheumatologist to a gastro doctor to specialists in XYZ trying to diagnose what nobody could say.
Wow. So gastro meaning intestinal,
Yeah, yeah,
just okay. Oh, you had mentioned like the IBS stuff.
yeah,
So you aches and pain. Holy, so you're like thinking you're dying.
absolutely.
Okay.
And I mean, it sounds like an exaggeration, but there were moments in time where I literally would leave notes on my nightstand feeling like I'm not going to wake up. My
Wow.
body was vibrating, literally
Mm.
vibrating. And I would go into these doctors and try to give them an explanation of what I'm feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And, the point where I started to recognize that I needed to remove myself from going to doctors
Yes.
and to try and extend my own personal research in regards to what could the cause of this be,
Right.
because I know I don't have simultaneously Crohn's disease, um,
Oh, the things
carpal
they were telling
tunnel,
you that you have,
all
or
of
the
these
doctors
things,
were
and I
suggesting.
and
Oh,
I'm
okay.
sitting there going, well, the chances that all of these things are coexisting all at once are just bizarre to me, and I don't buy it. I'm not buying it.
Okay.
So
Right.
in and out of hospitals, in and out of specialists,
Jeez.
colonoscopies,
Oof. God.
attempted wanting to do surgery on me,
Oh.
to the point where I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna
Yeah.
do this on my own.
Okay. Gotcha.
And the aha moment was my father actually was diagnosed with Lyme disease,
Oh.
and um, he'd actually, through his process, had gone into the doctor. They had tested him for Lyme. He had the bullseye,
Okay. Yep.
inner left thigh, and
Is this recently or
I think, I mean, time keeps slipping here. This was probably 2 or 3 years ago.
okay, but not
Two,
yours. Okay.
2 years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, to where he'd been tested, and his test results came back negative.
Okay.
My stepmother, who was a retired nurse,
Hmm.
insisted that, okay, let's give it some time, and now let's test you again, because we're not so sure about this. The bullseye is
Oh, right,
kind
right,
of the
yeah.
telltale sign of Lyme.
Mm-hmm.
So he went back in, but in the meantime, they had been communicating with me and saying, we think your father's got Lyme disease. He's going through, I mean, he's extremely sick. And my dad is diabetic on top of that. So it was
Okay.
compounding in and of itself.
Yeah.
So they had gone back in and been retested. And sure enough, he was diagnosed with Lyme.
Damn.
Now, in that moment, I recall when I lived in the Hamptons, I had the bullseye on my left inner thigh in the
okay.
exact same spot.
Oh,
I had gone in and gotten tested for Lyme,
yeah.
and it came back negative.
Okay, because I think we were talking off screen with Lyme, you need, in order to be detected, the antibodies have to be.
Time for them to build in your body,
Okay.
and that's how they test if
So
you've
you
got
can
it or
test
not.
too early.
Yes.
But you just went on, like, never even, that was just
I was
something that happened
unaware
to
of
you
that.
because you tested negative.
They said it's
Yeah.
negative, life goes on, and that
Right.
was just, I had forgotten about it.
Gotcha.
So that happens, and then he comes back the second time and it's positive.
Right.
And I thought, that's it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I never had been tested a second time.
Mm-hmm.
And my research continued to just be like, oh my God, it's this, it's this, it's this. And it
Pointing
was
to Lyme.
exactly.
Okay. Yes.
Couldn't get insurance at the time, spending $1,500 a month on supplements and pills and meds and bullshit that the doctors wanted to continue to feed me. And it was not even masking anything. It was just shifting. It was,
oh, I see.
so not sleeping at night, losing a ton of weight, losing a ton of muscle mass.
Oh my God.
I mean, just for things that, I mean, that were going on, it was just some of the stuff I don't even care to discuss over this. It was a bad deal.
Okay, gotcha.
So in that time though, I'm thinking, that's it.
Yeah.
So I go in and I say I need to be tested for Lyme disease, and no doctor wanted to.
Interesting.
Nobody wanted to test me for it.
Okay.
What makes you think you've got Lyme?
Wow.
And I had to break it down and say this and this and this and this and this. And you can't just go in and get a Lyme's test without a referral.
Oh, wow.
I can't get a referral because I don't have a primary care physician.
Okay.
I can't get a primary care physician because I don't have insurance and everything's backed up out the door.
Okay.
So there I am by myself trying to figure out what the fuck is going on.
Right. Yes.
So
Yes.
I finally go into a lab and demanded. I had just simply, I'd called in. I said, I need to speak to whoever is in charge. I need to speak to whoever's in charge of whoever's in charge.
Yes, because you are out
I
of your
just
mind
need some
sick.
blood drawn. I just
Right.
need this.
Yeah. A simple, yes.
So lo and behold, the test, I finally just get it done for $250.
Woohoo!
Yeah, after the bank was already broken.
Yep.
And sure enough,
good.
It comes back positive.
Okay, and so, and then that, but I bet you're thrilled in a way.
Thrilled in a way.
Because now you have a name, hopefully, to all of your whatever the fucks are going on.
Exactly.
Okay.
So.
But, oh, so sorry. But then, so they did try and hook you up with some meds, or the 50, like the supplements and things they were wanting you to take are outrageously expensive and not even masking, moving, correct, not helping.
Yeah.
Okay. So I just wanted to be clear about that.
Yeah. So I end up basically, I found a lady out of Phoenix who had specialized in helping people with Lyme. Mm-hmm. You know, I went down and I sat with her, and she walked me through the fact that, okay, you've been dealing with this for 6 years, ultimately telling me that I'm probably not going to shake it.
Okay.
I'm going to have to live with it.
Oh, no.
But having to basically, let's take a shot at knocking it out of your system.
Okay.
So she prescribed me with, I mean, I was on antibiotics for a month. No, I take that back. 3 months.
Damn.
So I spent 3 months taking antibiotics and this long list of herbal medic herbal medicine that it progressively started to alleviate things,
Hmm.
but I still was, experiencing all sorts of other things.
Okay.
So I followed her direction. I went out the door and I thought to myself, because then it was she wanting me to go back once a month at $2,000 to now,
Right.
feed the
Everything's always
beast.
money, money, money.
Money, money,
Yeah.
money.
Yeah.
So I took it upon myself at that time to really focus and hone in on what it is to dive into keeping myself healthy.
Okay. Right.
As you know, I abused alcohol
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and other things. Um, and at that point in time, I recognized that I could no longer.
Okay. So like you committed to an idea without ever having alcohol because it was,
You
or I
know,
mean, not ever, but you had to stop consuming alcohol because it was not making you feel better
yeah,
at all.
yeah.
I mean, I feel like I'm talking for you,
You get
but
it. You get it.
okay.
Yeah.
So you okay, and then so let's talk about how you know I want to hear more about mushies and how that.
Yes, yes,
Yeah, yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah.
So, in that process of me trying to understand and learn, I'm tired of putting pharmaceuticals in my body.
Hmm.
I'm tired of go see this doctor now, go see this doctor now. And I mean, at the end of the day, doctors are human. They're just other human beings that have
Yeah,
an opinion on something. They're educated, in that regard. But I oftentimes feel that they're directed to not fix you because it keeps you coming back.
it sure can feel that way
you
sometimes.
know
Yeah.
so I took it upon myself to try and dig deep on research, um and I've started to find all these other Chinese medicines that I've started to take tinctures of and whatnot. But then the special moment was finding psilocybin and the health benefits behind it.
Okay.
As you know, I've experienced with psilocybin in the past,
Recreationally, probably
recreationally,
together. Yes.
absolutely.
Yes.
But it was, in those moments, it wasn't like, didn't have any intention with it.
Well, that's the whole thing. It's just like, it was the party drug.
Yeah,
So let's
yeah,
just laugh and it's the same story for me. I
yeah,
repeated it 100 times. I never knew that you could use it intentionally
yeah,
to heal and,
yeah.
yeah. So, but for the first time, were you using it with intention?
So for the first time, I started to recognize that, okay, I'm going to take this not only for the pain,
Hmm.
but also, reading and learning and experiencing the long-term benefits of microdosing.
Right.
And not only it helping and benefiting the arthritic problems,
Hmm.
but the depression and anxiety that's coupled right along with that pain.
Wow.
So, and then we're sitting in COVID.
Hmm.
I was single, I was alone, I was isolated.
Hmm.
The hospitals, the doctors are telling me if you get COVID, you're going to die.
Wow. Hmm.
Um, I couldn't get in to see doctors because of the situation and the times we were living in.
Hmm.
So, yeah, I started microdosing and I started having spiritual moments on my own
Hmm.
in trying to battle through it.
Gotcha.
So,
Do you feel so when you began your microdosing journey, I
mhm,
guess, do you feel so for me, I repeat this all the time, but with in order my intention was to quit drinking alcohol.
mhm,
And I think it was like on day 6 or 7 where I finally realized like, yeah, Maggie, I can live a life without alcohol.
yeah.
So were your benefits right away? I want to hear more about, or was it kind of like 3 months later, or, or tell me more about that.
I feel like it was, a couple weeks in to where I started to recognize that microdosing. And again, back in our times of eating mushrooms, it was like I'm eating mushrooms so that I can go to another galaxy.
Yeah, right.
And then when I'm introduced to microdosing, it's like, well, I don't even feel anything.
Oh, because
So,
yeah,
what am
yeah.
I doing here? But I've grown so much in the time in recognizing that that's not why I'm using this.
Yes, and I mean, the more I'm talking to doctors and therapists who are talking about how, because I'm not afraid to talk about how for me, we've got micro and we've got macro.
Mm-hmm.
And for me personally, a lot of my transformation has happened through the macro
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
experience.
Mm-hmm.
It was an interesting perspective from this doctor I was talking to about microdosing because she was saying a lot of people just kind of give up on it because you at least want a microdose for like a 6 week span, okay?
Yep.
But because you're often you're not supposed to feel any effects, and if you do, it should feel almost like I like to call it a performance enhancer.
Yeah.
A great cup of espresso
I was
or
just gonna
something.
say, like a nice
Yeah,
hot shot of coffee, espresso.
right.
Yeah.
But it's almost like what's the point?
Yeah.
But over time, the accumulative effects, so like a 6 week intensive or with intention microdose period can equate,
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
like one macro experience.
Yeah.
And then I was asking her, why would we stop? I mean, other than cost, right?
Yeah.
And, obviously it's important to take breaks, but she's like, I really don't, I kind of stumbled or she didn't have an answer, because there are no, I guess if you're reaping the benefits,
Yeah.
she really didn't have a reason not to stop microdosing
Keep going.
because it happened for me. It enhances all aspects of my life. Like I feel like psilocybin treated my depression,
Mm-hmm.
but I talk about often how I microdose over you know little things like checking the next thing off the list, or I have a very complicated conversation I need to have with this person. I
Yeah.
microdose about it
Yeah.
because it helps me, gain perspective
Yeah.
or just, you know what I'm saying? So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
It's what I've recognized is not only did my heart open up and the almost the forgiveness,
Hmm.
because I carried a lot of resentment for 6 years of
I bet. Yeah.
battling hell and truly being told, I mean, literally, it's all in your head, Mike. It's all in your
Oh,
head.
good.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, well, no fucking shit, it's in my head. And I would get it out,
Right.
you know? So over time, it's been a magnificent journey here and realizing that, it's unfortunate that psychedelics come with such a strong stereotype.
Oh, yeah.
Not only just because because they're illegal. Everybody's okay with drinking booze. It's all good. There's people
Yeah.
getting DWIs and killing people on a daily basis drinking alcohol, but nobody
Hmm.
bats an eye of the harm that it causes.
I know.
But yet, let's judge people that are actually taking something that can be a proven health benefit for PTSD, anxiety, depression,
Yes.
chronic pain, fatigue, all these things.
Yeah, and
So,
it's I think it's so important, and it's a common theme on this show because we are so ingrained in alcohol culture, especially being, Minnesota and Wisconsin. Anyway, but it's
go, 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 go.
I just feel like it's so true, I it's so normal, especially when you have children.
Yeah.
Um, you know, anybody can. sit around and have their wine and, drink and all, but if I were to light up a joint,
Yeah.
yeah,
Shame on
even
you.
though that's legal, but it
Still
is
coming with a stereotype
right.
still.
And
Yeah.
then, but that's the purpose of this show, really,
Mm-hmm.
to normalize and destigmatize
Yep.
these beautiful medicines that come from our earth.
That's what my argument is
And
God put it here for a purpose, I believe. Instead of taking a bunch of pharmaceutical plastics that we put into our body that
Mhm.
is just not the answer.
Right.
It's a band-aid that's not curing the actual wound.
Or let alone ethanol or
Yeah.
alcohol.
Yeah.
So yeah, I also wanted to talk to you more. I know that you've been doing some ketamine therapy.
Yes.
Talk to me about that, please.
So, be it a cross between the two, I'm not quite sure.
Okay.
But, and I do believe
What
that
about combo? Or
I believe in utilizing them in a safe space, collectively together. And this isn't again, I used to think of these things back before on a recreational level that it was not, didn't know the capacity that it would have in helping my personal experience.
Okay.
So many others that deal with all this shit,
Mm-hmm.
I don't wish this pain and bullshit on anybody.
Right.
What I was dealing with for the last 6 years of my life, in not getting answers, accumulating medical bills through the roof, and trying to act like everything's okay, keeping
Right.
my composure. What do we got? We got an
Yeah,
audience?
we do.
Well,
It's
hello, friends.
oh. Did you see
What
you?
you do?
I'll tell you later.
Okay.
Oh man.
All right.
So
So I actually was scrolling through Instagram, and all of a sudden, I get an ad for ketamine treatment,
oh, okay. Yes.
and oblivious to what
Ketamine.
ketamine and I mean, to me, it's a horse tranquilizer, the party
Yes.
club drug that's not to be messed with.
Yeah. K-hole.
Yeah,
K-hole.
yeah. So, but it's like I tell my family, I absolutely research everything that I possibly can when it comes to anything.
In putting
I
in.
get something in front of me and it's like, what is this? And I just start geeking out on, okay, ketamine for chronic pain. Let's
Yes.
dive into this.
Okay. Yeah.
So, long story short, I got 18 treatments, which, you get the treatments that come to you in the mail.
Mm-hmm.
I won't plug them here, but yeah.
Okay. So meaning,
Maybe another
do you
episode.
feel like you can get anyone can have access?
Anybody can get
Okay.
access to this.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And we have talked, a lot. We've had episodes on ketamine,
Mm-hmm.
and the importance of having, a therapist.
Yeah.
Are you fortunate enough to have that, or are you kind of doing a solo?
Nope. So they
Oh, okay.
supply the therapist through the
Oh,
app.
wow.
It's a beautiful app,
Okay,
and it is
cool.
quite literally life-saving.
Yes.
So I would recommend this to anybody suffering from deep trauma, PTSD, depression, anxiety, chronic pain.
Chronic pain, yep.
I speak this to anybody that will listen.
Yeah.
That is a very powerful.
I 100% believe you. I mean, yes. And in some cases, it can literally be the last option when
Yeah.
people have major depression issues, depressive issues. They put them there
Yeah.
because it's like that life-saving and almost
Yep.
instant can be.
Yeah.
So in your case, we were talking, you do the lozenges?
Yes.
Lozenges.
Lozenges.
Okay.
Yes.
And
so
yeah,
basically just put them under your tongue, you set your intention, mask up, headphones on, and just lay
Wow.
back and let it be.
So what about your therapist? Are they there, or do you talk before and after? How does that work?
So they set you up with a therapist that will, talk to you about the experience.
Mm,
How do you feel? What are your intentions?
mm.
You do need to have a, call it, a babysitter on hand.
Okay.
So
Yep.
my girlfriend was always my babysitter that sat
Hmm.
next to me while I just basically went into a deep trance.
Yes.
But yeah, and then you come out of it. It usually would last about 3 hours or so. And then yeah, you have the conversation with the therapist, and just you really try to. And the hardest thing about the journey is trying to. It's hard to recall everything that even when you come right out of it,
Hmm.
to try and remember exactly how things played out in your head. There's
Okay. Yeah.
things that and there were moments where I think I would be speaking, felt like I was speaking in tongues often,
Oh,
and
okay.
it's I don't know what I was saying. I don't know where things were coming from.
Yeah.
And there were moments where things got, it just gets hazy and odd at times, but very unable to explain a lot of the experiences. But coming out is the most positive feeling that you'll ever have,
Okay.
to where it's like, oh my God, like none of this matters.
Yeah,
And
I know that feeling.
for whatever reason, I don't know how it works, but over the course of the last however long that, okay, so I started doing ketamine treatments, I forget how long ago. I mean, I had 18 treatments,
Yeah.
and you try to break them up as much as you possibly can. In the initial phase, you back them maybe one a week.
Okay.
Okay, then you taper off and do one maybe a
Oh,
month,
I see. Yeah.
and then like you build it up, and then towards the tail end, it was, and I shouldn't say once a month. It was maybe once every few days, to once a week, to once a month, to then tapering it off to where the tail end I just did. My last, in fact, I did my last one maybe 2 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
Um,
Wow. So
so,
yeah, that's been.
and with all of that,
Mm-hmm.
accompanied with the microdosing,
Yeah.
I used to have a golf ball sized cyst on my wrist.
What?
I couldn't make fists. I would have aches. I couldn't lift my arm at a 90-degree angle. And now the pain is gone. It's gone.
Okay. Wow.
So I
Just,
don't care if
yeah.
somebody tells me it's in my head anymore.
Yeah. Right.
I fixed it.
Yeah.
So fuck them.
Exactly. Um, oh man, that's such a, you know, and how I'm just curious about your dad and his Lyme. Uh, is he doing okay and such?
So the crazy thing is that if you catch it in time,
Yeah.
you can literally, life goes on.
Oh, shit.
Nothing, you know,
But if you
no.
don't,
If you don't, it starts to mask itself. It starts crawling into every sorts of all, and then it went up my spine. It's in my brain.
yeah.
The
Wow.
neurological effects that it's had. So that's the other thing with, I know,
Oh,
let's get back to the basics and what we're here for.
yeah.
Psilocybin
Yeah.
has been essentially rebuilding my neurons in my
Yes.
brain.
Neuroplasticity. Yes.
Exactly.
Okay. That's
And now,
tremendous.
yeah, and I've lost memory. I've lost mobility.
Let's talk about your concussions.
I'm a mess.
Well, no, but I know people who have had um, more than a few
Yeah.
heavy concussions, and even one is life changing. Nobody talks about this. I mean, I feel like we're starting to, but for the younger kids these days, obviously,
Yeah.
but for the adults who are living and survivors of multiple concussions, whether they're, professional athletes or, um, yeah, and yeah, I do. I
So
wonder,
my
yeah.
first concussion I sustained, I was less than a week old.
Oh, wow.
So, and we joke about it. Were you dropped on your head when you were a kid? I was.
Yes. Oh,
I was
yeah.
literally like 4 or 5 days old. I was dropped on my head.
Oh no, what had happened?
So my mom brings me home from the hospital, and my two older sisters, hi Jenny and Heather, you assholes. No, I'm just kidding. They're so excited to see the new little baby brother that I'm in the car seat up on the counter,
Hmm.
and they go to take a look at me, and the car seat just whoop.
Oh,
So I catapult off and just head bang.
oh no. Hmm.
So, obviously I don't remember that,
Yeah.
you know, but I was dropped on my head as a child.
Okay, good.
That was the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the second one, I think I was 5, 6 years old. I fell out of a moving car,
What? Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
and then I was a hockey player
Mm.
since I was 4 years old. So, I mean,
You've had, yeah.
concuss. I mean, I remember playing a hockey game in Wilmer, Minnesota. I think it was checking. So, I mean, it was Pee Wee or above. And I got hit from behind, head first into the boards, and it buckled me. I went paralyzed. I couldn't feel anything from my neck down.
Damn.
I'm squealing like a freaking stuck pig, and I can't move. I can't feel anything. I got hauled off on a stretcher, hauled me off on the ambulance. But the crazy thing is, with like when we grew up, it wasn't really a known
Yeah,
issue. It was just,
that's what I'm trying to say.
I
Yeah.
go to the hospital, I get checked out, I have
Mm.
a concussion. Okay, well, you can't obviously go back into the game,
No. Yeah.
but I did get to go back into the game the next game.
Right. Yep.
So I got my feeling back. I want to play.
Yep.
Back to the tournament I go. I'm
Mm-hmm.
playing hockey, and I mean, none the wiser.
Yes.
So, and that continued to happen with concussions, where it's like, okay, I loved hockey so much
Right.
to where it was like, you can't take me out of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And after it happening, you get to come back. But the unfortunate thing is, with concussions, the more you have, the more likely you are to have another.
Oh, okay.
That
Yeah.
fragile,
I bet.
the fragility of your brain. So, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, each one compounded to the point where it was like you get a slightest knock on the head, and now you got another one.
Right.
So, I didn't realize this for, what am I, 46 years, that concussions have probably played a significant role in all of the things in my life and who I am.
What I know, and I think it's so. We were conversing. Like, I think it's sad because I think that I'm 44 and I was a college basketball player, but for those that played hockey and football and I think there might be a lot of men out there
Yeah.
wondering, can you talk about like how like moods and
Ugh.
yeah, I want to hear more about that because I think um yes.
It's a
Okay.
very sad and shitty thing, because it's, and what I'm recognizing now at this stage in my life is the moods are almost completely opposite of what I used to be.
Mm-hmm.
Now, back 10 years ago, if a little micro moment happened, like I get stopped at a red light and I'm trying to get somewhere, son of a bitch,
Yeah.
like
Right.
I'm losing my
Rage.
mind
Yeah.
over a red light.
Yeah.
To where now I'm
Mhm.
more likely to cry at the red light.
You're right.
So,
Tears of happiness. Yeah.
so that rage that is often associated with,
Mm.
and I've often thought, through the process of self-diagnosing myself here with Lyme, is it CTE?
Oh.
Is it in my head? Is that all it is my brain playing
Yeah.
tricks on me? Like this, the only thing that kept me from thinking like, okay, I'm just a fucking lunatic and my brain is out of my head is the
Oh,
physical ailments.
right. Yeah.
Had I not had a golf ball on my wrist, then I can sit and go, okay, it was all in my head.
Right. But you
But when
had
you see physical
physical,
ailment where
yeah.
it's like, okay, now you're just looking like a deformed monkey.
You,
It was,
well, you know what? I love how you had that because I think it was, I think we're all mushrooms and it was there because it's what you needed at that moment.
and it's, I
I
just
mean, it
having the
hurt, I guess.
conversation with my mother this morning because
Mhm.
everybody's curious. What are you doing with Maggie? What's going
Oh.
on?
Oh no. Okay, yeah.
Well, you talking
We're in
to
the
me about,
jacuzzi, okay?
yeah, we're just drinking some THC here
Oh,
and talking
yeah.
mushrooms. No, the stereotypes that go along with it all.
Mm-hmm.
And having to sit with my father and, I'm sure, I love you, Dad. You guys are going to be watching this, I'm sure.
Good, I hope.
It is what it is. I swear by this. I
Mhm.
swear by psychedelics. It's literally saved my life.
Yeah.
And I told them that I will do this 10 times over. I don't care what the punishment is. Like, it's not
Right.
fair for anybody to have to lead a life dealing with trauma, with pain, with anything,
Mm-hmm.
all because of a stereotype.
Thank you. I know. It's the weird. You know what? I'm so grateful for the stigma and stereotype because otherwise we wouldn't be here, right?
Fair enough.
And so, but let's do something with it. That's what we're doing.
That's what we're doing. We are
Yes.
right in it.
Yeah. Okay. And I'm so happy because I believe Minds on Mushrooms has we have a sponsor, official sponsor
Hey,
for life, I'm hoping.
for life. I'm here.
And let's talk about this stuff. Okay, you guys, Minds on Mushrooms, I believe we have our first official sponsor. And
Hello.
Mike is the method behind it. Please talk to us. And it's called Moist.
So here we are. We'll get you a good look at no? Hey? You get the point.
Let's go back.
Let's go back.
Okay. Tell us about your
the
wonderful
Mr. Moist Man part of the journey.
Yes, please.
So this actually, man, so many things happen in life, huh?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And here we are.
Yeah.
So this started as a joke.
Okay.
I used to get really bad cracked hands, and I found this product in Lake Havasu. And long story short, my sister had put me in touch with this woman who had this stuff. Whatever. Long of the short, I went to go and try and get more. She wasn't accessible. She was gone. She disappeared. Okay. No more product. It's gone. So she's ultimately the one who gave me the idea of how to formulate this.
Oh, okay.
And COVID is ultimately why I came up with Mr. Moist Man. Boredom on the couch, dealing with my own bullshit in my brain, all of it. So I started playing with this, and I formulated an all organic, all natural. It's more than a moisturizer. It's actually helps with stretch marks, eczema, psoriasis,
fine lines, you were saying?
Crow's feet.
Oh my God.
Diaper rash.
By the way, your skin looks amazing, or your face.
We're working on those, but it's inevitable, I guess. I smile too much.
Okay, I want to hear. You had a woman. Sorry.
A woman actually approached me and said, I know it's probably too much information, but my nipples get so chapped when I breastfeed.
Okay, yeah.
And that Moist saved my life.
Oh.
Saved her nipples anyway.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Diaper rash. About anything you can think of.
Oh, wow.
And It's all organic, all natural. You can consume it. If you want to put some in your hot cocoa, it might be a good flavor.
Okay.
A little
Yeah.
peppermint in there.
I'm excited to give it a go. I've been looking for because it's so dry up in here. Well, you too probably, but yeah.
My sister uses that's her skincare routine is Mr. Moist
Wow.
Man. As much as she's the reason why I came up with the word moist, because she hates it.
Yes.
But now she's using it.
Okay.
She swears by it. So
it's so funny.
Stay moist, my friends.
Oh, we'll say that is your tagline,
That
right?
is the tagline.
Stay moist, my friends.
Stay moist.
All right. Awesome. Thank you for
Thank
sharing
you.
that moist. Well, yes, I think something that's really important to me is, when you find somebody who is like a believer like me. And so it's really great for me because we've connected, on so many different things for like 20 plus years, but to hear that your life was saved and changed dramatically, as mine was too, it's really special to be able to talk about it. It's like literally a never ending conversation.
But wait, there's more.
But wait. So Mike, he's found awesome relief with psilocybin and then ketamine therapy. But now you're super excited because
I was gifted a scholarship to a retreat in Costa Rica called the Reunion, for an ayahuasca retreat.
Holy cows.
January 13th through the 20th.
Wait, tell me again where it is. Costa Rica.
Costa Rica. It's called Reunion.
Okay. Oh.
So yeah.
And do you know, is it a 2-night, 3-night?
7 nights.
Well, that's wonderful.
Of losing my marbles.
Wow.
And hopefully I don't shit my pants.
Well, you might. That's with it. But anyway, I want to, we're definitely going to have a, check back in after that, because that would be tremendous.
For sure.
I'm proud of you for doing that, because I think that,
I'm proud of you for doing this.
Oh, thanks, Mike.
Hell yeah.
I think that a lot of, it takes some balls to,
Take some balls to start a podcast.
Well, cojones. Okay. Awesome. I can't wait to hear all about it.
Yeah.
And we will check in for surezies when that wraps.
Absolutely.
Yeah, or when you're back.
Sure.
Alrighty. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
We will be in touch. And as always, my friends, for more information on anything, you can visit mindsonmushrooms.com. And cheers, friends. It's been fun.
Stay moist, my friends.
Stay moist. Oh, yeah. That's why we're in the jacuzzi. Get it? Bye. For more information, please visit mindsonmushrooms.com. Thank you for joining the journey.